What's up, everybody? It is Baby Bruss, your boy Lil Guapo. We got Guapo in the back, working stuff out today. We're missing the guy, so Guapo's out here carrying the podcast tonight. We are not your average Mark. You know us, you love us. Welcome. Today, as you can see from our title, we're talking about Royal Rumble predictions. This Saturday,
Royal Rumble. Gonna be balling. Thank you to the people who take care of us. Thank you to Labor 12 for our intro music. Track's called Head Rush. Album's called Monsters. There's the I was about to say the guy. But,
well, today I am the guy.
Oh, now we hear you. Yeah, there we go. All right, now he's. I don't want to call him the guy. The man.
Well, as they said just a few minutes ago, what's up, everybody? Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I'm finally here. It's me, your boy Guapo. Of course, we've already had the introductions from Little Guapo, Baby Bruss. Royal Rumble just around the corner. Before we get into that, though, what about Monday Night Raw this week?
Pretty sick. It was probably the best Raw I've seen in a couple months, for sure. Best Raw of the year.
I think so. I think we had.
That's fair to say. Best Raw of the year.
That is pretty fair to say. I
The
liked.
promos were banger.
Agreed.
Go ahead.
That's actually where I was gonna go with it. Is the promo work on this episode of Raw was insane.
Oh yeah, all the promos were bangers. The matches were bangers. I mean, what else could you ask for? I mean, Chad Gable and Ivar stole the show. That was crazy.
That one move was insane.
The suplex, flippy-do German suplex that Chad Gable pulled off.
Yeah, that was something else, man. That was pretty wild.
Crazy.
We've got Seraph in the chat saying we're having a few problems here. That screen's frozen on you guys' side. Oh wait, nope, it's back.
Oh, oops.
All right, so we're good there now. Few technical issues. We're trying something a little different here because the guy's doing his work thing. But let's talk about it for a minute. With Raw, some of the moves in there in that particular Chad Gable match, it was really, really good. I don't know where they're going with it. I think there's a lot of places you could go with it. I think it's going to be good. But where do you see Chad Gable going moving forward?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to see him win the IC title, but he's probably not going to do that anytime soon. I think we're going to end up getting like Jey Uso or something doing that. But I think Chad Gable is going to at least do what he always does, and that's no matter what or who, he's going to put on an infinity of the match.
No questions about it.
Kind of just where he's at. He's I'll be on Raw every week putting on a match, and it's going to be a good match,
Like, have you ever seen him not put on a good match?
No, never. It doesn't happen. I'm telling you, it don't happen.
don't know how.
Well, one of the big things about Raw, one of the things that got me the most is what we started to talk about, the promos. And the first, of course, being Seth come out and address the crowd about his injury, address what happened. What do you think about the way he did that?
Thought it was good. I was concerned of the title getting relinquished, but...
Hold on. You guys dropped off the stream, it looks like.
Whoa. Oh, no!
Oh, no! Let me get you brought back here. Hold on just 1 second.
No, I can? I don't know. But he's also in here. Factual naps and shit.
so they can still hear you. They're just having some trouble seeing you.
Okay, well, you can't see me, but
I'm working on that right now as we speak.
So that's a blessing.
Wow.
But yeah, Seth delivered a great promo. He got us all in our feels. The thank you Seths and him getting all teary-eyed. Oh, and now we're backstage. They can't hear us no more. And we're back, but not on the screen. But you can still hear us, as I was saying.
We're having a couple of issues here.
Really got emotional, but Imperium music hits. I'll let you take some. Give some your opinion on the Gunther set.
All right, so Imperium Music hits this very heartfelt like promo. I'm sitting there because I really messed with Seth, and I see Gunther come out, and I'm like, who else though? Like, who else would come out? I didn't expect anyone to come out, if I'm being honest, but seeing Gunther come out was where it was at. You know, the way Gunther like holds himself always is like mesmerizing to me, but it's such a good contrast with like how animated Seth is, because even when he was in that like emotional state, and I mean, promo was 10 out of 10 without a doubt. I mean, it was very good, very well captured. I mean, great thing to look forward to. Like all around, it was. I don't think they could have done anything better.
I think this whole, you've had Punk the last month going at every single person that is vying for the main event. You've had Cody and you've had everybody at each other. Cody and Drew and Seth. This is the most like up in the air Royal Rumble that I've ever.
There we go.
But we're kind of doing the chip and chop.
Stop. Get back to talk.
Sorry. But yeah, most up in the air Royal Rumble I've ever. I can remember at least. I mean, last year it was kind of like, all right, we know Cody's winning, but that was the right decision. We can't deny. There was the off chance, maybe, that Sami Zayn came in there.
Right.
But obviously, everyone was like, Cody's winning. This one, it could be anybody. Not anybody, but Drew, Gunther, Seth, or CM Punk, Cody,
Bobby Lashley.
And there's so many people that could win this Rumble that I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, that's why we gotta have a whole episode about it here today on Now Your Average Mark Twitch channel, because we don't. I mean, it's so
yelling in the
mic.
mic. Stop yelling in the mic.
Oh, party foul. Sorry. But to veer off of how crazy the Rumble's gonna be before we get into it, want to give a little shout out to our boy Phoenix for these sick little things we got on our head right now. Pull up to a SCP show or pull up to a BCW show while we will have a table. SCP, just listen for us on that, because sometimes we might not. But at all of our BCW shows on our commentation table in the back, we're going to have our hats up there.
And if you want one and you're not going to those shows, just hit us on the socials. We're easy to get a hold of. I promise.
Yeah, we ain't hard to find. We're all over the place.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, I tweak backs, but that's about it.
That's about it.
You tweak the backs, do you?
Yeah, I just tweak backs. So as long as you don't hug me, you're fine.
So I've had some questions about that, and since we haven't had you on the stream in a minute, there's some people want to know how are you doing after the whole bear hug challenge.
I am still, all right. The week before, I had the flu, okay, and my respiratory system had not fully recovered. I still have a cough, kind of, You know, and you know he just got the better of me. I went into it. I wasn't 100%. I knew I wasn't 100%, but I couldn't back out. And at the end of the day, I got smashed. So, but I tweaked his back. So that ought to learn anybody to mess with me. You may take me down, but I'm gonna take you down with me.
See, that's the way it should be. We've got Rick and Camino both in the chat. Want to say hi. What's up to them? Glad you're here.
I think we're frozen.
I also think we're frozen.
I said your audio was a little low. I'm taking care of that. All right. Say something now. Okay, now I can't hear you at all. All right, so now we can't hear the boys. I'm not sure what's going on right there.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
All right, the man keeps trying to silence us like CM Punk in 2011. Keep cutting our mics off mid-sentence and stuff.
You gotta hate it when that happens too.
Look at that eyebrow. Is that not like professional? Do it again. Do it again. Oh, do it again. Look at that. Yeah, come on.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so let's get back into it. Of course, we had Punk's heartfelt thing, the whole thing with Gunther. It's gonna be a hell of a matchup. See where they're going. Seraph in the chat saying he's not here tonight. The guy not here being the guy. So it's kind of we're changing things up a little bit. He'll be back on the next show for sure. But the other promo that went on that everybody was waiting for was, of course, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, face to face, first time in WWE. What'd you guys think?
What a spectacular promo. I mean, it hit all the marks. It got personal. It gave thanks. I mean, it had the right jabs. It was great stuff. Like, I mean, CM Punk on the mic, you're always going to get a masterclass. Cody Rhodes being able to go toe-to-toe with that, I mean...
Cody's he's not bad on the mic either. He can hold his own on the mic. So the two of them together was pretty nice.
Great decision. I mean, it did exactly what a lot of promos kind of fail to do these days. But like the point of them is, build hype for the match, and well, it did that perfectly. Like I want to see the Royal Rumble for nothing else than to see CM Punk and Cody Rhodes have their little bout.
Well, and one of the things that really got me was where they went in the promos. You had CM Punk talking about Dusty Rhodes, and he told me to watch after you and all that. And I'm out. My dad was just a regular guy, and he was, he was an electrician, and I lived all of this. So technically, I guess I'm more American Dream than you are. And then to have Cody turn it around and be like, well, everything you said up there during your pipe bomb, you talked it, I walked it. So I guess that makes me more CM Punk than you.
That's what I said. He was like, you dropped the torch, and I picked it up. I was like, did you?
Hey, did you though?
I think you made a head for a while, I guess, but I guess in a roundabout way, you did eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think CM Punk won that promo. But if you had to choose, obviously it was a great promo from both sides. But if I had to choose one winner, CM Punk won that promo, in my opinion. But
I have to agree with that. I mean,
that's fair. That's fair.
I got to go with you on that. I think CM Punk kind of won that one out. Threw a couple of jabs out there.
Oh yeah. And it's going to be, they're going to have their own little mini match, and it's going to be great. I'm just so, this is going to be such a great Rumble. Of course, you had the Nia, Becky, Bailey promo.
Mm-hmm.
Even the women's Royal Rumble is pretty in the air. Like, I think there's a little less like realistic options than the men's, but there's options. It's not like last year. We knew Rhea Ripley's gonna win.
No, absolutely. And
Yeah, last year you knew Cody was gonna win. Now, do I think they did the right thing with that? Yes. But this year, it's kind of a surprise. You don't know.
well, and I was talking to Rick earlier today, and the thing going into this Rumble, the thing that makes me think this may be the best Rumble we've had in a whole lot of years, is the fact that you have so many storylines going into this Rumble. You know, in the past, you've got one or two main storylines playing out, so you know whoever's going to win the Rumble has something to do with that storyline, you know? But there's so many different storylines that people are invested in going into the Rumble that it's hard to tell. Like, you could see Cody win, you could see Punk win, you could see Drew win, you could see Priest win.
You could realistically see Bobby Lashley come out as a Royal Rumble victor to get him back in the realm of relevancy. You really could.
Or you could even see, I mean, obviously I think this is on the lower end of possibility, but you got your Jey Usos.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, Sami Zayn's been out of action for a little while. Maybe we get a little Sami Zayn return Rumble pop, you know?
Kevin Owens wins the heavyweight.
Kevin Owens, he's... Yeah, he won't be
So we've got
there. He's fighting.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
We're-
For the heavyweight. It's the U.S.
There you go.
It's the U.S. Then Sami Zayn wins the Rumble, and then Sami Zayn has a match with Kevin Owens. No.
You know, it could happen, and that's the thing, is anything could happen in this one. Looking over at the chat, we got J-Reb in here. Cameron, what's up, brother? Glad you're here. Camino saying Dirty Dom's going to take it, and R-Truth. You don't understand the kind of pop you would get from me if R-Truth is even in the last four.
Well, I am excited to finally see Tom and Nick Mysterio.
Yes, we need some Tom and Nick Mysterio in our life.
Yeah, I hope they make their Rumble debuts because I'm excited to see them. They're making lots of money for the Judgment Day, so Truth is selling them shirts like hotcakes.
I'm saying. Did you see the stack of money he tried to hand Priest?
Turn it up.
I mean, it's good stuff.
Speaking of absolute in the air and anything can happen, I have seen a lot of talks about AJ Lee coming back for this Rumble.
Well,
What are y'all's thoughts on that?
I'll tell you what. We've talked about Raw a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into the Royal Rumble. Like let's kind of break it down here. So you talked about AJ Lee. Let's start with the Women's Rumble, and let's start with that. Let's start with AJ Lee. Now, there's been a lot of talk that AJ Lee could be on her way back, which would be awesome to see. Don't get me wrong. But we'll start with you, Little Guapo. What are your thoughts? AJ Lee coming back or what?
I could maybe see like a Royal Rumble pop return, but I don't see a long-term return. But I'm going to lean more towards no. But I do think if she does, it's not going to be like a long-term thing. It's going to be, we needed a body for the Rumble, and I think you would be an awesome pop.
Okay. Bruce, what do you got?
I think she is 100% coming back. I got it locked in. I think AJ Lee comes back. The crowd would pop. I do agree that she's not staying in any capacity, but get her a little cameo, get her a little bit of bread for coming back. Gives the women's Rumble even more memorable moment. So,
Well,
I see it happen. I really do.
What's more memorable than Michelle McCool coming out as a crowd to wrestle though. Come on. That was sick.
Well, looking over at the chat, we've got Camino saying AJ Lee is coming back, but Cargill's got his money. And Rick saying she don't need it or want it. I say no. And I can kind of see where Rick's coming from on that. I mean, you're a multi-time New York Times best-selling author. You know, you've got TV things you're doing. It's not like she needs the money or needs to do this. So if she comes back, I think it's all for Pop.
100%. I mean, because if she like wanted to, just because like Punk came back to WWE, doesn't like I don't know. She wasn't under contract when he was in AEW. I'm sure AEW would have, you know, thrown her buku money to come back and do something in AEW with Punk. Like, just because Punk's back does not mean AJ Lee's going to come back, I think. But I think if she was going to come back, she would have done it already. But there is, I will say, you can't count out anything. So
Very true. Very true.
AJ Lee is pretty iconic. You know, she's who I grew up with. She was like every wrestling fan's ever's like crush. I just, you know, you say that, you know, if she was going to come back, it would be like have already happened. And I don't really see it, because to me, the Rumble's also like iconic for returns, you know. I mean,
True. Very true.
I see it. Everybody sees that. It is iconic for returns. For those little cameos for the Rumble, and some of them, you know, have a match or two in the Raw after or something. Some of them just get knocked out and call it a day, you know. But I definitely I see them trying to do something like that, and I just don't know who else they would do. But I definitely think there's a return in the women's Rumble, for sure.
Well, and we'll just have to see about that one. Now, one of the other big things that's being talked about, possible return, is that of one Sasha Banks. A lot of talk going on about it. Does she come back at all? If she does come back, does she come back as Sasha Banks? Does she come back as Mercedes Moné? What do you see? And Bruce, we'll start with you.
I just don't think so. I mean, the manner that she was gone, I don't see the point in it for her. I don't see. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know why they would. It's like what you were saying with AJ Lee. Like, the only reason she would do it would be for the pop. But even if, like, I don't even know if the pop would be that big. Like,
Oh, she'd definitely get a pop. No question about that.
yeah, no,
Well,
it would be huge.
okay,
I just don't see that.
you're right, but I just don't see the point in it. I don't know why she would come for that. Like, I don't know. I don't think so.
My thing is, when she became a free agent, they kind of had this storyline going, like Bayley was on the outs and damage control. Like, it was very prominent. And since it's been more rumored that, like, she's pretty much AEW bound, they've kind of slowed down on all that. So it makes me wonder, you know, obviously, if she had signed with WWE, you know, they were going to beat down on Bayley and Sasha was going to come save the day. But then, like, slowing down on that and cutting back makes me believe, like, all right, maybe there's a chance Sasha isn't coming back. But I don't think she's coming back. I think, as Rick said in the chat, I think she's going to milk Tony Khan.
It's a very strong possibility. I mean,
She's all about the money.
milk plus Tweaker Khan equals revenue.
Yeah, I think that it's like you said, like she became a free agent, and then like you said, all the rumors of AEW, like her being pretty much locked in with them. If she was gonna come back, it would have happened in a small capacity already, and it would be cool. I agree, it would be sick, but I especially with who's like declared already, but I just don't see them being able to make that happen with her.
Same. I'm on that boat of no.
I don't know. I kind of think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see it. I'm not sure what all that entails, but I think we see it. Another, of course, big name that's been thrown out as of late, the return of Liv Morgan. I kind of feel like that one's in the that one's in the bag. Like, why wouldn't she come back?
Yeah, I saw she was. I don't know how long, but I saw she was suspended for sure because of her little incident. But
Right.
I don't know. I never saw a report on how long the suspension was, so yeah, I'm not sure on that. But I do think if the suspension is up, we will see Liv Morgan.
For me, I haven't really looked into suspensions for past all of Jeff Hardy's. Like, he's the only one I've really done like a lot of research into for like problems with drugs, and I just with that being like the only like substance that I have for this, I don't see them giving her a reward of being in the Rumble and getting her pop like that in such a big like venue, that because she messed up. So to me, it just doesn't seem like a punishment to let her come back in the Rumble as opposed to just a normal show. But at the same time, you do got to think about trying to get money, and there's not that many like bodies. But and because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter like if it's not a punishment or whatever. If the men upstairs and TKO are gonna make more money if she comes, then that's just my thing. Is I think there's a side in the higher ups that think she shouldn't, and I think there's a side that are like it don't matter. So, what about you?
I think that we could see her. It's going to sound really bad to say this, but people have done worse and gotten less punishment. So as far as the suspension, I don't know that really sticks, but I think we see her. I've got some predictions going on in other places, and I've got her actually figured to come in at number 30 in the Rumble for the pop. Mm-hmm.
Number 30 Liv.
Yeah, I've got Liv coming in at number 30.
You gotta have Nia Jax has got to be like 27 to 30 range because she's not gonna be in the match that long.
Yeah, she is.
Well, I guess that brings us to the one person in the Women's Rumble that everybody's talking about, and that is the one and only Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I for sure think she debuts. She's gonna have a strong showing. She's gonna get eliminated by the future winner, which is gonna be, as me and Rick are pretty on the same wave here, gonna be Bailey, and we're gonna talk about that in predictions. So I'll get it. But yeah, I do think Jade Cargill debuts and strong showing, eliminated by eventual winner.
I mean, I think you hit it right on the head. She definitely comes out and gets a couple. I think 2 elims for sure. Okay.
That's a strong debut there.
That would be a little different. I'm thinking she just comes out while it's a kind of moot point in the Rumble. There's a lot of bodies, and she comes out, everybody's freaking out. She gets a couple people gang up on her, and then it's left with like, Bailey, Becky, and then Nia Jax comes out. But what Rick's saying, okay, I see that in the chat. He says Nia is number 10, comes out as number 10, kills the field, so eliminates everyone that's there, stands alone, and then that's when Cargill debuts and eliminates Nia Jax. That would be sick.
It would.
And it would do what we all know is they're going to do in some capacity, and that's give her a strong debut. Like, give her some real, holy crap, she can handle business. So I think that would be the best way to handle it, Rick. So good on you for that. What about you, Dad? What do you think?
I think there's no question that it's time to bring in Jade Cargill. So I think there's no question at all that she debuts in the Women's Rumble. I see her coming in mid-20s. I like where Rick's going with this. I just don't see it. I see her coming in mid-20s. I think that okay, Rick's right. He says he's the best booker. We got to go with that. But I do see a Nia Jax still being there when Jade Cargill shows up. And that's going to be a thing. Everybody's talking about they want to see it where Jade Cargill goes in against Bianca Belair. I don't think you start with that. I think we build to that. We've got plenty of time to do so. So I think that, the whole Jade Cargill and Nia Jax thing is a good start to that build.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a strong debut. I mean, I could even see like women's record for most eliminations in a Rumble, like something along those lines, or something huge like eliminating Nia or eliminating Becky or beyond. One of those huge names.
So I guess the next question is, do you see any returns from legends? We always have surprise entrants. Do you see any legends coming back for this one?
I don't know. I can't. That's just a hard prediction to make for the men's rumble, the women's rumble. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard any reports or anything, so I couldn't tell you. Obviously, there's going to be like one at least, but who it could be, I mean, that's totally like, 52 pickup. There's so many you could choose from.
Well,
I'm standing with it. I think we're definitely seeing AJ Lee. That's just coming back. But I just, okay. I see where you're going with that, Rick. A women's legend wouldn't come because there's just so much in main roster and NXT. That is fair. I still, like I said, I'm standing by AJ Lee's coming. I want to say she's 30, but at the same time, I think they're gonna save 30 for storyline. So I don't know, but I'm gonna throw mine out there that AJ Lee's coming and she's coming in 30. There was a lot of talk from. I've seen a lot of talk about Alexa Bliss coming back for the Rumble. I know she's not like legend status yet, but
I just don't. Like she had her baby in like November. I really just don't see it as being time yet for her to come back.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, he's not a legend, but Andrade's obviously going to debut. It was either he was going to debut the Raw after he got his thing was over with AEW, or he was going to debut at the Rumble. So that's going to happen like mid-teens. Be ready for that.
Right.
yeah, no, I don't see Alexa Bliss coming back either. I think maybe she's back like doing in the gym again now, but I don't see her coming back for a hot minute. So I mean, it's a hard maybe on that.
Maybe Mania, and Mania's pushing it. I will say this though. Rick was right when he says the field's thick between main roster and NXT. I do see what's probably going to happen here is a lot of NXT step up. Like, I think we see a Tiffany Stratton step up.
That would be sick.
And just because they show up at the Rumble doesn't mean like they're going to be main roster.
Fair.
Like, you can bring up some NXT people to be cannon fodder. Like, it happens every year.
Well,
but again, the main event scene is just so crowded with, and then you debut Jade, and it's just like, who else do you bring up from NXT that's not gonna be like just mid card?
Well, Rick's saying you get Stratton, you get Perez, you get Davenport, you get Legend, you get Gigi Dolan, my favorite short, orange-haired girl, Rick. Long story there. It was a conversation we had earlier today.
Cool beans, dude. But, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out. I've already said it. That Bailey's gonna win. Bailey's gonna win the Rumble and challenge Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania.
So let me ask, I agree with you on that with Bailey, but where do you have Bailey coming in?
Huh?
Where do you have Bailey coming in?
I don't know, probably under 10. I mean, you probably have, by 15, you probably have all of Damage Control in there that's not,
That's not Io?
Io, yeah, or obviously, that'd be cool. Dakota Kai comes out, that's her official return. But
So yeah, I kind of wondered about that.
she should be pretty close to clears. So that's a possibility. That's a possibility.
I'd be excited to prank for that.
Yeah, I think by halfway point you have all of Damage Control out there, running things and then things get ran over, and then
I think, alright, for me, I also think Bailey wins the Rumble and challenges Io Sky for the women's title. Bringing up Dakota Kai, I think this would be sick. I don't know if it'll happen, but I think, Damage Control is all going to be out by, 15, 17. They're going to be running things for a while. By 24, Becky and Bianca are going to kind of pick them apart a little bit. A couple of the NXT people might hit some cool moves and have them a little bewildered. And then I think, what's your name? We were just talking about. What the fuck? Dakota Kai. There we go. Sorry, guys. She's gonna come out at 24 or something, and her and Bailey, the Damage Control is gonna get eliminated by some big names, and then it's just gonna be Bailey and Dakota Kai that are left for Damage Control, and that's when Bailey's gonna that's once if Dakota Kai comes out late, I guarantee Bailey wins the Rumble, because she's gonna turn on her, and then everyone's gonna be like, and then Bailey's gonna win the Rumble, and they're gonna be like, and then she's gonna challenge Io Sky, and they're gonna be like, so,
Well,
that's what I think.
I'm with you guys in the fact that I think Bailey's going to win the Rumble, but let me paint a picture for you. What's one thing that has never happened, at least to my knowledge, and if I'm wrong here, Rick, correct me, but as far as I know, one thing we've had in the men's Rumbles that we've never had in a women's Rumble is somebody start the match at number 1 and win the Rumble, and I think that's what Bailey does. And I don't think it's going to be Dakota Kai that she throws out. I think she throws out Kairi Sane. And that's the moment.
Yeah, no, I'm with it. Like I said, the Dakota Kai thing was kind of a stretch. It just kind of hit me, and I was like, the timeline, it could line up. It would be cool.
It would.
But yeah, no, I'm with that. I could see. I mean, Bailey I got no qualms with watching Bailey for an hour.
No, me neither. I'm good with it. Rick saying Benoit did.
Last year? Was Rhea not one? Or was she 2?
I don't know what number Rhea was last year.
I want to say Rhea started the match last year, but she may have been 2. I don't know. Let me look.
So far as I know, Rick saying Benoit did it and HBK did it, which I know they did it on the men's side, but I don't think anybody on the women's side has ever started the match number 1 and won the Rumble. And I think this is the year for it. I think Bailey does it.
And I think
No. Rhea Ripley was numero uno last year and won the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so Rhea's done it.
Which lasted the whole hour, 1 minute, and 8 seconds.
Okay.
And Liv Morgan was number 2 and lasted a whole 1 hour, 1 minute, and 7 seconds.
That's right, because Rhea kicked her threw her over the top rope leg style.
Yeah,
That was a head scissors.
yeah. She did like the, yeah, I remember. Yeah, because, yeah. 'cause
Thanks for the refresher, Rick, because I'd forgotten.
That's what it was.
But yeah, that doesn't change anything for me though. I still say Bailey comes in number one or number two, and she's gonna finish the match and she's gonna win the Royal Rumble.
My dark horse, of course, is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch and Rhea is the big Money Mania match. So that, of course, is my dark horse, but I do think Bailey will.
What do you got for a dark horse, son?
For me, let me think. I'm pretty all in on Bailey, but I don't know. You have to come back to me on that. I was thinking. What
Okay.
about you?
Well, if I had to pick a dark horse for this one, I'm kind of with Buddy on this. I think Becky Lynch is the way to go. I think that she can put that with the feud they've been having. She can throw that in Nia's face, and it continues their storyline. I feel like, she goes after Rhea at Mania, but the build up to that's going to be great. So, like, that could be the that would be my dark horse as well. And I think even if Becky doesn't win the Rumble, I still think we end up with Rhea and Becky at the Rumble, and when Bailey wins, she's going after Io.
Yeah, I think that WrestleMania is kind of locked in already, in my opinion. I already have like half the card locked in. But I'm excited for the Rumble so I can know what LA Knight and Randy Orton are doing.
And we're gonna get to that one. We are gonna get to that. Before we do, we've got the men's Rumble, and staying in the same vein as we did with the women's Rumble, I'm gonna throw some names out there that are being thrown around for people to show up at the men's Rumble. We've already talked about one, of course, Andrade. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Has to.
Like that's going to happen. Andrade's going to be there. I've heard some people say they don't think he's going to debut at the Rumble, but the Raw after the Rumble instead.
I mean,
It'd be dumb to
yeah. I mean, just why not? Why not just return it to Rumble? I mean, I don't know. It would make sense to me. And the Raw after, it's like, at least at the Rumble, he can go in and eliminate somebody or get eliminated by somebody. And
Right. Start a
Monday
storyline.
after or Friday after, he's got a storyline. He's got somewhere to go immediately, and it's not like he pulls up like Jade Cargill and then is missing for a month and a half because they have no creative plans for him.
Fair. Very fair. Another name I hear is the imminent return of Sheamus.
Oh, I could see it. I mean, I don't know. And do a Sheamus and Pete Dunne bit to kind of really like solidify that Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne and not Butch anymore. That's yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, and I feel like Sheamus comes out, like, I feel like it's a lock he's going to be there. And I think he comes out to his old music. Because, I mean, it's pretty much a given that the Brawling Brutes is done. So I think he comes out to his old music, and we go at it.
Yeah, and maybe even set up something with Gunther to finally win his Intercontinental Championship that he needs for his Grand Slam.
That's got to happen at some point.
Because Gunther has to lose the title so that he can get a new one from Seth Rollins.
That's
this is already locked in. If Seth Rollins loses the title, it is to Gunther. Period. No questions asked. It's the truth.
I don't think I can lock that one in
Right
yet.
now, I don't know. Do they have their little Brock Lesnar type deal where he like comes back and then he like bans him from challenging him, and then because they haven't done that in a minute. So and then he finds a way around and gets the title anyway. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but Seth Rollins will lose the title to Gunther.
Okay, fair. So another name that's been floating around is Mr. Woo 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 himself, Matt Cardona.
I could see it. I mean, he's said on many occasions that he's not looking for it, but he's not against it either. So, I mean, but also with, as Rick said for the first one, there's just so much going on and so much talent on the roster. I mean, they really, if they wanted to, they wouldn't have to pull anybody from NXT and could just do 30 main roster superstars and do a Royal Rumble, you know? No legends, like, and it'd be a good match.
Oh yeah, they're deep in talent.
But, yeah, so it's just tough, like, take time away from some of these guys who have been killing it for Matt Cardona one-off. But it's the Rumble, again, it's one of those things that you can't expect the unexpected. So I'm going to say no, but I'm all for it if he does.
Okay.
And it will be as Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder.
I gotta agree. I don't see the Rumble as his like best fit place to come out, in my opinion. I think they could do a little more like build up for him to like have a feud to come into, as opposed to just doing the basic come in the Rumble and have a feud because of the Rumble type deal.
If he comes back, it's just going to be a one-off. Like, he's not. I don't see him signing like a long-term deal with WWE. But
Well,
Okay.
and I can agree with that. I mean, Rick and I were having this conversation.
30 championships right now.
True. I know Rick and I were having this conversation earlier today, and if him coming back as Matt Cardona, and this is more kind of behind the scenes kind of thing, you have to deal with owning of the intellectual property. Right now, Matt Cardona owns Matt Cardona because he's gone out and built the Matt Cardona character up, where WWE owns the rights to Zack Ryder. So, if Matt Cardona comes back as Matt Cardona, there has to be some sort of give and take there over rights to the name, things like that.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because just recently, The Rock bought The Rock, so he has that now, and it's not a give and take. It's just, I mean, it was because it was a money deal, but to me, I don't really see them because I mean, like Lil Guapo said, I don't see him coming out for much. So I don't see them, the people at Endeavor really making a big deal out of it, like really caring that he comes out that way. But to me personally, I still don't think he will. I mean, I just don't see him coming at all. But
That's what I'm saying. Like, also, I mean, at the end of the day, that matters. But it's like CM Punk, when they didn't own the intellectual property of CM Punk. That doesn't matter. Brock Lesnar owns Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar can go out and beat Brock Lesnar anywhere. CM Punk can go out and beat CM Punk anywhere. I don't think they'd make a big deal out of. Well, we don't own Matt Cardona, so sorry, but pal.
yeah,
But I still, again, it don't really matter because I don't see him showing up. But
unless it's a wrestler from WWE going to AEW, I just don't see them really batting an eye at it.
Adam Copeland.
Fair enough. Now we've said his name a few times tonight, and he's another one that's slated to possibly make the comeback. And that's the Beast Incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's a lock.
That's
for
a
me.
lock for sure.
I've got him down as number 30.
Yeah, I'll say it's gonna be high, like 25 to 30. I'm not gonna say a number but I'm gonna give ranges, and I think it's gonna be between 25 and 30.
I can roll with you there, Dad. I think Brock Lesnar at 30 is a solid choice.
I think
They throw Sheamus in the middle. I think Sheamus coming back it would be really dope, and it'd be good for the brand. But
And Pat McAfee will commentate.
I'll be good with that.
yeah, that'd be sick.
That's my return. That's the commentary return that we're gonna get. Because you can't have Brock Lesnar make a return and not have Pat McAfee screaming, "The alpha male of our species."
Yeah, it has to happen. Just like that too. That was a good impression.
I like it.
But I think they throw Sheamus in the little like middle range where it's you know, there's not much going on. It's a lot of like mid people like Pete Dunne and like Ricochet, like all mid card people. Not mid people, sorry. Mid card. But like those type of cats that are just you know they're not gonna win, but you know they're doing something cool. And so that little like waiting game, I think is where they throw Sheamus in. Rick, kind of spitting out here, said last two are Cody and Punk. 29 already entered and gone. Number 30 is Lesnar.
See, and
Pretty solid book right there.
I'm kind of on that same boat. This is what I see. I see Punk and Cody in the ring. Gunther is there with them. So it's those three. And then Lesnar comes out at 30, ends up eliminating Gunther. And that starts the feud with Gunther and Lesnar. That's what I see happening.
That's Guerrilla Militia.
You know what? I'm with you, man. Damn the Guerrilla Militia. All of them.
Yeah.
Get them out of here. Animals. Anyways, yeah, I mess with that booking there. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm throwing a shot in the dark. No, never mind. That wouldn't. He couldn't do it. But Punk is one would be kind of sick.
So let's look at that real quick.
He's too old.
He can't. I don't think he'd last.
Yeah, he's too old to make that happen.
I've heard one other rumor about who number 30 is going to be, and it's bugging the hell out of me. A lot of people feel like number 30 is going to be The Rock.
No,
Wow.
I don't know. I just hate that whole thing. Being on, I love the idea of that story, but the timing of that story is awful and does not need to happen right now.
Agreed.
But what I also understand the business aspect of Rock and Roman at WrestleMania is insane. But can we not just like wait till another WrestleMania? Because I don't want to do it this WrestleMania. The timing for it is terrible.
Did you see his tweet, though?
Yes, I've seen 1,000 things. He told Stephen A. Smith that, there's a good chance you might see me at WrestleMania fighting Roman.
And I think we do see him at WrestleMania fighting Roman Reigns, and this is something Rick and I discussed. I think we see him at WrestleMania 41 because that, you've got the move over to Netflix starting in January. You got WrestleMania in March. What better way to bring viewers in to Netflix now that Raw's there than to put The Rock on there?
That's fair.
So
fair.
you build Rock Roman once they move to Netflix, and good on Rick for the thought on that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just, like I said, I'm all for that match, but I do not want it right now.
I agree. I do agree with you there. My thing is, why are they pushing it so hard right now? Like how do they get out of it if they don't do it for this WrestleMania? How do they get out of hyping it up so much?
They don't have to get out of it. If you stop and think about it, you had John Cena challenge The Rock challenge John Cena to WrestleMania at WrestleMania, challenging him for a year later. I mean, it's been done.
No. It was the Raw after Mania.
Even then, it's for an entire year later. It can be done.
Yeah.
That pissed some people off.
Well, they kind of did. I mean, it was like teased, kind of, when The Rock being the special guest host of WrestleMania. Then, of course, John Cena the championship, and there it is. I don't know. I hope it don't happen, but.
Rick making a good point there. Rock said one sentence, Roman laughed it off. As far as he's concerned, not even on the table right now. I mean, that's true. They haven't touched it since.
Good.
On the brand, but I mean, like I said, The Rock's been spewing his lips this whole time.
Well,
Now, there's one other person, and go ahead, son, what you got?
I hope that the great bookers of WWE have called Rick Elzy and made sure that does not, take some insight from the great Rick and don't book this right now.
They'd be idiots to book it right now.
But, alright, last turn.
Well, it's one that may or may not happen. It's being rumored. You've got one person, a legend of sorts, saying they feel like they've got one more left in them. That would be the one, the only, the Hulkster.
Stop. Please. Stop it. No.
I don't. Let me put this. Let me put this out there where everybody's going to understand this. Hulk Hogan is not participating in a Royal Rumble because he's on a cane and is not going to be able to make his way to the damn ring. It's not
Did y'all
happening.
watch the last Rumble? Did y'all see how long that ramp was? It was insane.
And walk that much in one day.
But hear me out. So you go to vignettes of Hulk Hogan out talking to everybody, talking about the Rumble all through the match. You get to about 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there, and the music hits. Dun 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 dun. You know, you've got Hogan's music hits, and walking through the curtain out onto the ramp is Damien Sandow dressed like Hogan. I think it would be great. It'd get a hell of a pop. I think it would be funny as hell. Yeah, I'm thinking the boys don't agree with me here.
I wish our camera was working. Either you would understand.
Yeah, the camera's obviously frozen, but we were pretty frozen in that moment in looks of disapproval. So
We've got our boy Jeff Bingham on the chat saying it means nothing until more is done on it, and The Rock is a busy man, so it's kind of a wait and see situation. Very true. Very, very true.
All right. I'll give it to Rick. R-Truth would be the only person that could pull that off.
And I only want it if he gets in and eliminates Damien.
there is so much social implications with all of this, and Hogan and his background. It's not something they would risk, I think. It's not anywhere they would go.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, maybe we don't have R-Truth do it after all. Okay, so we've listed all the people that could be making a comeback. I agree with Rick earlier on when he says there's not a whole lot of bring up from from NXT. I feel like we get Carmelo Hayes because he's already been in there. He's already been making a showing main roster. I feel like we get Trick Williams, much like Rick told me earlier today. The whole reason we get Trick Williams is to get 40,000 people screaming, "Whoop that trick."
Oh yeah. But okay, how you know they can't? You can't have Trick Williams come out without Booker T. So how does that work if Booker T's not there? Does Booker T come out with him?
is Booker T and Pat McAfee commentators.
All right, then that just tells. Then we know Brock Lesnar and Trick Williams are in the Rumble. You're just giving it away at that point.
Booker T as a commentator would be so sick.
I could see it.
Listen to me right now, loud and clear. If Trick Williams does not come to this Royal Rumble, I am throwing a riot. I need to see him on WWE, and I need it now.
The Royal Rumble Rooney. I'm with Camino on this. We need the Royal Rumble Rooney.
We had the Royal Rumble Rooney last year.
I know, but we need another one. We need one every year.
That's fair.
We need him again.
No, I do kind of hope Trick Williams is in this one. I'd like to see Braun Breaker, but I don't see it happening. Just because, him and I can't even remember his name now.
Baron
Yeah,
Corbin.
that's right. Him and Baron Corbin are moving on in the Dusty Rhodes tournament, so I really don't see them. I don't see them messing that up by bringing Braun in. Although,
I just don't. Man, Braun Breaker's so good, and I love and hate that the roster is so stacked because Braun Breaker at this point should be on the main roster. But what do you do with him?
Braun Breaker should have been drafted when they had the brand draft.
Yeah, Carmelo Hayes is already didn't he sign the SmackDown contract 2 weeks ago?
I got to go with Mikey. I agree. The Wolf Dogs are a good thing.
Oh yeah, he didn't sign. He signed a Royal Rumble entrant contract. That wasn't a SmackDown contract. I lied.
I didn't get said earlier, but welcome to Mikey. Glad you're here, brother. Glad you can make it in. So now that we've gone through everybody that could be in the Rumble, let's get at it. Who do you got? Who wins the men's Rumble and why?
You go first.
I've got CM Punk winning the Rumble. I feel like no Camino. Kevin Nash doesn't make a comeback. I feel like CM Punk wins it. The two biggest stories we got going right now are Punk and Seth and Cody and Roman. I don't think Cody pulls it twice, so I think it's CM Punk.
So, I also don't see Cody winning twice. But, I said last year, and I know me and you talked earlier and I said one thing, but I'm going to stick to my guns that I've been saying all year, since last year, that Gunther is going to win the Royal Rumble.
Okay. You got Gunther doing it. I get you.
I'm going with I had a last minute gut change. I had CM Punk as well, but I'm going to go Gunther.
We've got Jeb in here saying, I didn't hear my guess. He sees Braun Strowman making a return in the Rumble, which I want to see Braun Strowman make that return, but the neck surgery he had was really, really serious, and it's kind of like Big E. I don't want him to push himself. If it's the right time to come back, awesome. If it's not, I want to see him stay out until it is the right time to come back, because that neck surgery he had wasn't no joke.
Yeah, no, I do agree that he needs to be healthy above all because that was a pretty nasty, pretty big surgery. Yeah. My question for you, my brother, what does Gunther do if he wins the Rumble? Like, what does he do with his ticket to WrestleMania?
He told us on Raw that if he wins the Rumble, he's going to challenge Seth for the title and attack his knee, attack his back, and anything that's not 100%, and walk out of WrestleMania the World Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
Well done.
I guess we gotta wait till WrestleMania predictions for that. But I mean, do you see Gunther actually winning it? Of course, we already said.
I said last year that I had Gunther taking the title off of Cody when Cody wins, but because I thought Cody, I don't know. I mean, I had a whole deal, but that don't matter. Obviously, Gunther, whoever wrestles Seth at Mania is winning. and then Seth is going to take time off and get healthy.
Well deserved time off at that.
Yes. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So
Camino's saying Big E making a comeback. He could see Big E coming back. Consecutive entrances with New Day is back. You'll have Kofi and then Xavier Woods and then Big E. And with Big E, it's the same situation I said with Braun Strowman. If he's healthy, if he's good to come back, then I'm all about it. I've always liked Big E.
I'm with Camino. I definitely think they do a back-to-back New Day is back entrance. I don't see why they wouldn't. Yes, there is a stacked roster back there, but I mean, we got all the big names. You know, we got LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, all with Roman Reigns. We got Kevin Owens and Logan Paul out for the U.S. title. I mean,
oh my gosh, could you imagine if they had, like, if they didn't book a Fatal 4-Way and we had AJ Styles in the Smack in the Rumble and
Whew.
Randy Orton and LA Knight? Oh my gosh, it would be ridiculous.
So, I don't think I ever heard from Bruss. Who's your pick for the Rumble?
yeah, no, you hadn't yet. For me, I gotta say CM Punk takes it. He's still, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but at the end of the day, WrestleMania is gonna be CM Punk and Cody Rhodes 9-1.
Fair.
Cody takes the titles off the set between now and Mania.
If I'm being completely honest, I think we definitely see Gunther and Seth, because just like you said, Seth needs his well-deserved time off. But you're right. Like, why would they have a match without a title? You know. So for me, yeah, for me, it's gonna sound like a stretch, but we're gonna see Cody get the U.S. title. See it happen. I see.
Wait, what?
I know. It's a lot of copium because I want to see CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I'm convinced that that's WrestleMania.
You think CM Punk is going to win the Rumble and say, "I'm challenging for the United States Championship"? Do you think that's what's going to happen? Is that what's going to happen?
Which leads me to our next point. Drugs are bad. Okay. We are a drug-free podcast, which we'll be testing Bruss after the show.
Give me a break, guys, okay? I just want it to happen, alright? I want CM Punk and Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania.
I could see down the.
Take the microphone away as soon as I heard United States Championship. I was like, please give me the microphone.
I could see down the road. I mean, they've kind of planted the seeds for it. I could definitely see down the road a Cody and Punk feud. I don't see it for Mania. There was
I could see something. I could see something along the lines of Seth losing the title before Mania, and that being possible. But it's going to be for a world title, and I
Not
don't
the
think
US.
It's likely Seth loses the title.
So, getting back to titles, let's talk about that match. Let's talk about our match between our tribal chief, the megastar LA Knight, AJ Styles, and the Viper himself, Randy Orton. It's going to be a good one, no question about that. What do you have on it?
Yeah. Obviously, I am convinced that Roman Reigns is going to win because Roman Reigns is going to go into WrestleMania champion. And if Roman Reigns does not lose at WrestleMania, we're not going to see him lose until the next WrestleMania. So, please, no, don't ever say that again. No, I don't want The Rock to. No. But yeah, I think Roman's going to win, but it's going to be a banger match. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
that is.
So let me kind of play something out for you real quick. Something that kind of plays to what Bruss was talking about, but without the U.S. title and the drugs. So let's say here at Royal Rumble, Roman does lose the belt to Randy Orton. Now you can set up Randy Orton and Cody, or Randy Orton and CM Punk. Either way, I want to see Randy Orton and Cody personally because they've got the history. You can set up CM Punk and Seth if Seth's still got it. If not, CM Punk and Gunther. And then you start moving CM Punk towards Cody after you get your Cody and Randy match. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that is some great booking. I just don't think WWE is capable of that great booking right now, this very second, because they, like I said, they want Roman Reigns to be the GOAT. Like, that's what they want. They want us to think Roman Reigns is the greatest wrestler of all time. And I don't see him losing to any of the three in this match.
If he were to lose, the only one he could lose to would be Randy, because they've already started ramping up the rivalry between LA Knight and AJ Styles.
That's what I'm saying. Even every situation that they've been in, they've really built this as if Randy is the only threat to Roman.
Yeah.
It's really been built that way.
All right. Bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. I think Cody Rhodes and CM Punk needs to happen for WrestleMania. So, we got the Rumble, right? We got this match. Roman Reigns doesn't lose at the Rumble. Let's be honest. But, Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns. Cody gets the title on Elimination Chamber. CM Punk. Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania.
All right, there you go.
See that sounds much less drug riddled.
Yeah. That also allows The Rock and Roman Reigns to have their match this WrestleMania.
Well,
that's why I think this actually could happen.
Yes, and that's what Dad was saying.
And yes, Rick, Bruss is going to die on this hill, and I mean it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad move. It would definitely catch people off guard if Cody was to pull it off of Roman at Elimination Chamber, and being the first time in Australia, it'd be a hell of a pop for it to happen.
Yeah, I was about to say he's got one thing going for him, that it is a huge statement show. So there's got to be something big happen, because we've never been in Australia. It's going to be a huge show, and they want to make a good impression. So
I'm telling you, guys, mark my words here. If Cody Rhodes pulling it off of Roman at Elimination Chamber, it doesn't make sense. Roman losing it anywhere that's not Mania doesn't make sense.
yeah, that's the hill I'm going to die on. Is he's not losing it anywhere but Mania. And if it's not this Mania, it's next Mania. If it's not that Mania, it's the Mania after. And we may just have the WWE Universal Champion Tribal Chief until 2050. I don't know. At this point, it's crazy. I don't know.
That's, for me, Roman Reigns has already taken a chill because he's not going crazy after this Mania. I mean, he's slowing down even more after this Mania, in my opinion. So the way that you do it is to get him to dump the title off at Elimination Chamber. Because it's not like Cody doesn't finish the story if it's not at WrestleMania.
I do want to poke one little hole in your concept there, and that's the fact that Roman Reigns, thus far anyway, is not being billed for Elimination Chamber.
But that is subject to change.
It is subject to change. But as it stands right now, he's not billed for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, in my own like booking in the realm of possibility, I don't think it's totally like realistic to think that way. But I think that Roman losing it at Mania at this point where we're at is either Cody gets it from him, and in my opinion, I think that that ship has sailed for building it for Mania. So the only way to really like make it happen is for something scandalous to happen soon, and then him.
But the Royal Rumble is the start of the road to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna start building for WrestleMania, now's the time to build for WrestleMania.
You're not wrong.
So
Not wrong at all.
I've got Roman Reigns retaining. Little Guapo's got Roman Reigns retaining. Bruce, what do you got?
I got Roman Reigns retaining.
So we've got same thing on that match.
That match might be a contender for the Bloodline Civil War, though. That was match of the year for me last year. So.
It's going to be a banger, no question about that. Zero question
Y'all
about that.
better be tuned in, because you know we're going to cover it all right here on your Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast here on Twitch TV.
We've got Rick saying there are 3 reigns left for Roman to potentially break. Hogan, he'd have to hold it till September. Bob Backlund, he'd have to hold it till November of 2025. And Bruno's first reign, he'd have to hold it until August of 2027.
There we go. That's the one. 2028's our year, baby.
What are you, Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
Sorry, had to throw it out there. So we've got one match left to talk about, of course, and that is the U.S. title.
Hold on. I got to talk about what Rick said here.
Okay.
Just because the WWE is the way that they are, again, I don't think Roman's body lasts till 2028. I don't. I think, if I am wrong, that Roman does break Hulk Hogan's, so that the WWE can solidly say he is a top 3 all-time title holder.
And realistically, WWE, they talk about Bruno and Bob Backlund, but at the end of the day, it's like, Hulk Hogan is the face of WWE for a long time. Obviously not anymore because of, certain scandals we alluded to earlier.
Right.
But, Hogan, Cena, if you beat Hogan's reign, WWE, your average marks don't know who Bob Backlund or Bruno Sammartino are.
And shame on him.
So your average marks don't know, and they just hear, oh, he broke Hulk Hogan's reign. He must be the best to ever do it.
I mean, until we started this podcast, I didn't know who the longest holders were. Like, I didn't know Bruno Sammartino was like the number 1 of all time until we started this podcast. So, you talked to me almost a year ago, guys. Almost a year ago. Happy anniversary, guy. We're getting close.
February 5th.
That if you asked me almost a year ago, if Roman Reigns broke Hulk Hogan's streak, his streak, then I would be like, then he's the best of all time. So I do think that it's not totally realistic to think Roman Reigns loses it at Elimination Chamber. So if he doesn't, I think he definitely goes past Hogan's and then loses it at 2025 maybe.
I could see it. So let's look at our other match here. Let's look at the United States Championship. You've got Logan Paul as the champion going against one prize fighter, Kevin Owens. What do you got?
Logan Paul retains via mysterious means.
I actually heard a concept on that I hadn't thought of before today. Interference by Jake Paul, which causes the DQ, but he still keeps the belt.
Oh, that's fair.
I hadn't thought about that till I heard it today.
I mean, how it happens, it doesn't. I think there's going to be some mischief, and Logan Paul will, similar to beating Ray with the brass knuckles. I mean, it's gonna.
It's gonna be some
come out of
charcuterie.
nowhere. It's gonna be a banger match, and then at the end he's gonna pull out something funny, some funny business.
He's gonna pull out a prime bottle full of pocket sand. But
Well played.
you know, you said Jake Paul, and I was like, how? Like,
All he's gonna be out in the crowd.
what?
All he's gotta do is be out in the crowd, be ringside, jump the barrier, and interfere.
I mean, Gronkowski speared somebody.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. You're very right about that. That
But
there's
n-
definitely been some tomfoolery with big names.
But not before that female security guard nearly took him out.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Also, speaking of those big names, I got your return of the century. Snoop Doggy Dogg comes back for Royal Rumble.
Take the mic away from him. Take the mic away from him right now.
Snoop Dogg comes back and takes out the Miz.
Both of you. What are you doing to me here?
Hey, he put on a banger at WrestleMania. All right,
Let's be honest.
he would did the Snoop elbow.
As long as he learned how to hit a rope between last WrestleMania and now, then I'm about it. But hitting the rope like this, that it ain't how it's done.
You don't know. It's called the Stoner's elbow. All right.
No, the elbow was great. The hitting the ropes like this was not.
It's all part of the presentation.
Yeah, it's the gangster hit. Come on, the gangster bounce. You ain't never seen the gangster bounce?
I'm not sure which one of you he's talking to, but Mikey says you're grounded.
I already said that, Camino. I said that already.
Womp womp.
He did say Pat McAfee returns at commentary. So, J-Reb says both of you are grounded.
Gotcha. Get back on track. I think Logan Paul definitely retains here, and I see him getting a little more involved with matches after following the Royal Rumble. I think we're gonna see Logan Paul a little more.
I see Logan Paul losing the match, or I see him winning the match. I'm sorry, but I see it like Buddy says, due to nefarious means. And the reason I think he keeps it is, I feel like you're gonna have kind of a pool for that U.S. title. I think you're gonna get your AJ Styles and your LA Knight and Kevin Owens and Austin Theory, and all of those are gonna be going for it.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. I just hate that Logan. They put the title on Logan for him to flash it around everywhere, and it's just not really working.
Didn't he try to trade it to somebody?
Huh?
Didn't he try to trade it to somebody?
I don't know. I didn't hear that. But
I heard something about that. Like he tried to trade it for a car or
Did y'all
something.
see him and Kevin Owens got into a scuffle at the Performance Center?
I did see that, and I wonder how much of that is put on, or if there's actually some animosity there. But yeah, it was kind of cool.
I'll say I watched the episode of Impulsive that just dropped with John Cena and Logan's side dude. I forget his name. The whole time he had a Kevin Owens like wrestling figure that he kept like putting on his knee, and Logan would be like, "Get that out of here! I don't want to see his face," and it was funny.
That's
But
great.
Last bit of news that we can discuss next time and just drop a little. What about the Vince McMahon news today? Did y'all see that?
Bum, bum, bum.
It was
Get caught up.
hard to listen to. It really was.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar's even a part of this.
Yeah.
Supposedly. So,
And it's
I did not see that.
it's gonna be something. Well, we are coming up on the end of the podcast, so I'm gonna turn it over to you boys. It's time for the final thoughts of the night. What do you got?
The Royal Rumble's gonna be a banger. Gender, don't hinder the gender.
Kill you.
Don't
Shut up.
hinder the gender.
We will box live on television if Jinder Mahal comes out.
He's going to come out.
I know he is. I just don't want to.
But yeah, it's gonna be bangers all around. Very lot up in the air. You know, they could go anywhere with it, and it's exciting. So,
Thank you, Mike. God.
all in all, I'm excited to talk to you guys about the results because it's gonna be awesome.
For me, my final thoughts are, I'm sorry that our camera's being whack. A little upsetting. You don't gotta see this ugly guy next to me though, so that's all right. You're just go for the guy that said don't hinder the gender. Get out of here, man. You sound like a trans activist.
You're talking to me about don't hinder the gender, and you said CM Punk is going to win the Rumble and challenge for the United States Championship.
Okay, but
I see a match coming out of this. I really do. Like, I see a match coming. I've got promoters in the chat that can make this happen.
I made some amendments to mine. You said don't hinder the gender last time. Trans activist, get out of here, man. Anyways, my final thoughts are, I think possible match of the year until we get Mania. Possible match of the year though. With the Fatal 4-Way. I love what they've done with booking so far. I'm really looking forward to the Women's Rumble. So, I just think that all in all, it's going to be an amazing PLE. They've done well. You know, like we said, Raw has been good. So, yeah. At the end of the day, like my brother said, we're going to be covering it live here next Thursday. Not Your Average Mark. Tell your friends. Y'all bring a friend. We've had some pretty high numbers recently, and I'm loving to see it. Thank you guys so much for that. Remember to check out our merch. Like, reach out if you want to just like see some stuff. We'll try and put a little more out on socials about it. But thank you guys so much, and try to bring a friend next time because that covering a PLE is kind of our bread and butter. So
Now,
what about you, Dad? What are your final thoughts tonight?
Mikey is actually kind of alluding to it. I agree with you guys. The Rumble's going to be a banger, and we are going to talk about it. But I have a surprise that I'm sure not even you guys know about yet. Of course, everybody knows.
Said something, I don't know.
As everybody knows, we've got BCW Wild Horses in Wilson, Texas, coming up on February 3rd. And in preparation for that, next week, live on the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast, we will have the one, the only, Exodus Prime as our special guest. AEW star, Impact star, Exodus Prime, live on the show next week.
Guys, that is huge news. I'm telling y'all. Hit up your homies, hit up your group chats that you ain't talked in 6 months, and tell them to come pop out to this podcast. Because not only are we going to be covering an amazing PLE, we're going to be covering it with Exodus freaking Prime.
It's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to it, and I couldn't agree more with what Camino said here. Support your indie wrestling. Of course, I want to say my thank yous. Thank you to everybody in the chat for being here tonight. Those that are watching, if you didn't get into the chat, we definitely want to hear from you in the chat next time. If you haven't hit that follow yet, if you haven't hit that subscribe, make sure you do that. We're across all the different platforms right now. We've got J-Reb saying, I missed the start of the show, so real quick, this last weekend was a great watch. We got looking like a zombie. The women were great to watch. Fat guys should not be able to kick that high. He of course talking about Sam Stackhouse. It's funny to hear him say it that way. Lau does have kind of a zombie look to him. And the women's match, Maserati versus Misty Marks, was absolute fire. If you haven't seen it yet, go to YouTube, look up SCP Collision Course. Watch the show because damn, it was good. But that's gonna do it for us tonight because we've hit that 9:35 mark. I'm sure the guy right now is going, "What are they doing? I'm gone for one day," and they start going overtime. It's our show. We can do it. It's okay. Cannot wait to see you. Say what?
It's his show too. So
That's-
I think he is allowed to be a little peeved.
That's fair. That's fair. But that's going to do it for us tonight. Can't wait to see everybody next week as we talk about the Rumble and everything that happened. And we sit down and chop it up with the one and only Exodus Prime. Until then, I'm Guapo. That's Baby Bruss. That's Little Guapo. And we are not your average marks. We'll see y'all next week. Yeah.
Yeah.